Good evening. Welcome to this electoral debate of the candidate of Moncton-Dieppe and Moncton-Riverview-Dieppe. Sorry, we'll try to fix that tonight, of course. Bienvenue à ce débat électoral pour la campagne électorale fédérale 2019 des candidats de Moncton-Riverview-Dieppe. Mon nom est Sylvain Montreuil. My name is Sylvain Montreuil. I'll be your moderator tonight. I'm the Director of Communication for the Chamber of Commerce for Greater Moncton. And tonight, well, we're presenting this debate, and thank you to partners like Rogers TV and also the Greater Moncton Realtors Association for partnering up with us tonight to present this debate. We have tonight 3 journalists with us that will ask a question. We'll try to cover as many topics as we can tonight during the debate. We'll have 6 questions, and the questions will be asked by 3 reporters of media organization of the region. So we have with us tonight Inda Intiar from Ottawa, Anthony Hazard de Kodiak FM, and David Gauvin from the Times and Transcript. Also, we have 5 candidates tonight. We invited the five candidates of the region based on the same criteria of the national debates that they used last week. So 5 candidates were invited, and they accepted the offer to come tonight and debate some questions. So we have Ginette Petitpas-Taylor from the Liberal Party of Canada, Sylvie Godin-Charest from the Conservative Party of Canada, Stephen Driver from the People's Party of Canada, from the Green Party, Claire Kelly, and from the NDP, the New Democratic Party, Luke McLaren. Good evening, everyone. So the debate tonight is quite simple. We'll ask questions. For each question that we ask, it's going to be asked to one candidate in particular, and this candidate will have 1 minute to answer. All the other candidates will be able as well to respond to the same question. And to finish each question, we'll have a debate of 1.5 minutes. That's it. So it's going to be interesting. We have an hour to cover 6 questions. So to start, we'll have some introductory remarks from each candidate. Prior to this debate tonight, we had a draw last Friday before Thanksgiving weekend, and the order was set this way. So Ginette Petitpas-Taylor will start and Luke will finish. At the end of the debate, we'll have the conclusion remark, and at that time, we'll go opposite order. So Luke will start and Ginette Petitpas-Taylor will end. That's it. So to start right away with the introductory remarks, we have 2 minutes for each candidate. We'll start right now with Ginette Petitpas-Taylor.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you so much. Je m'appelle Ginette Petitpas-Taylor, puis je suis la candidate libérale pour la circonscription de Moncton-Riverview-Dieppe. Au cours des 4 dernières années, vous m'avez confié votre confiance à titre de député. Et j'ai dévoué toute mon énergie et mon enthousiasme, et je suis fière des accomplissements que nous avons faits ensemble. However, I believe that there's still much work ahead that needs to be done, and I'm looking forward to your support for the next 4 years. In contrast to the Liberal Party, Mr. Scheer wants to cut $53 billion from the federal government investment in our communities across Canada. To put this into perspective, Scheer's cuts are larger than the total amount the federal government is spending on healthcare this year. Cuts will kill future infrastructure projects right across the country, from wastewater treatment plants to transit lines to bridges, cuts to skills training, and cuts to critical public services. Organizations like La Maison Nazareth, CAFI, the LGBTQ2 organizations, the Petitpas Watershed Alliance, le Conseil économique du Nouveau-Brunswick, the New Brunswick Coalition for Pay Equity, and the Canadian Mental Health Association of New Brunswick, to name just a few. The likelihood of these local organizations getting continued support will diminish considerably. If you think this is fiction, it's already happening by Conservative governments right here in New Brunswick and also in Ontario. Unfinished roads, municipal upgrades, and support to their community infrastructure are already taking a big hit. J'espère qu'au cours de ces débats, vous aurez l'occasion d'entendre les idées avancées dans cette plateforme et que vous conclurez que nous sommes le seul parti qui a un plan réaliste pour contrer les changements climatiques, appuyer la classe moyenne, continuer de mieux soutenir nos aînés et investir dans nos communautés. We are on the right track, and we must continue to move forward together. Merci.
Thank you, Ms. Petitpas-Taylor. Now it's time for Sylvie Godin-Charest from the Conservative Party of Canada.
Merci pour les organisateurs d'avoir présenté ce débat ce soir et merci à tout le monde d'être ici. I'm Sylvie Godin-Charret and I've been a lawyer for the past 23 years. I've practiced in the areas of immigration, child protection, and also property law. 8 years ago, I became a business owner when opening up my own law firm. I'm a mother of 3 young adults, and I am certainly very concerned about the environment we're leaving our children. I'm married to Dr. Danny Charret, who's a neurosurgeon and works at the Moncton City Hospital. And we've been discussing the problems that we're having with the healthcare system for the past 25 years. I'm active in the community, and tonight I am very proud to be your Conservative candidate for Moncton-Riverview-Dieppe. Today, I look forward to sharing with you the Conservative Party's platform to make life more affordable for you. We'll do that by lowering taxes across the board and leaving more money in your pockets. Another example is a green tax home program, which will encourage homeowners to reduce their carbon footprint. Locally, I will champion important infrastructure projects. With the community leaders to reach our target, I will also support immigration. And last but not least, I want to address the concern of public safety. This election is a referendum on Justin Trudeau. Tonight, while you're listening to the debate, I want you to ask yourself, are you better than you were 4 years ago? I don't think so, because I think it's time for you to get ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Godin-Charret. Time now for the People's Party of Canada candidate, Mr. Stephen Driver.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Stephen Driver of the People's Party of Canada. Mon nom est Stephen Driver de le Parti populaire du Canada. Our party's platform has not changed since our inception. Unlike the other parties, we believe Canadians are demanding common sense and responsible government. Unlike the Green Party, whose platform will continue with massive deficits, along with the NDP, whose leader wants to form another minority Justin Trudeau government. And of course, we cannot forget the Liberal and Conservative parties, which in the past 40 years, Canadians gave their trust, only to be rewarded with a $700 billion debt, with $28 billion of interest payments, almost the equivalent of our healthcare budget annually. Because of their mismanagement, we have crises in almost every sector of Canada, from healthcare to housing affordability. From living affordability to wage gaps, Canadians are struggling. The People's Party of Canada will guarantee to balance the budget in 2 years with no cutbacks in social programs. Immediately thereafter, lower personal and corporate income tax. Abolish the carbon tax completely. Reduce immigration to sustainable levels of 150,000. Abolish corporate welfare and build a pipeline to St. John. We're heading towards a minority government. I would like to suggest to the people of Moncton-Riverview-Dieppe that a People's Party of Canada MP would have a strong say in Parliament. I guarantee you I will not waver on my election promises and deliver to this riding the deserved federal dollars to address the social issues and drive economic growth with a pro-business approach. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Driver. Now, Claire Kelly from the Green Party of Canada.
Hi everyone, bonsoir. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you to the organizers. Thank you to everyone out there who is watching. It's really important that you're engaged in this election. My name is Claire Kelly and I grew up in Riverview, and I would first like to say that I am very proud to be one of 3 female candidates up here. It's a rare thing even in 2019. But I would like to point out I am the youngest one. And although I'm young, I am experienced. And I'm not as young as I look. I'm 32. I have spent 22 years of my life here in New Brunswick, but I have also lived in 6 provinces across Canada, and I spent 2 years in Japan. So in addition to being bilingue, je suis aussi trilingue en japonais. And I would like to point out that, I'm educated. I did my undergrad at Mount A, and I did my master's in immigration at Ryerson. And when I'm not running for politics, I am the immigration consultant for NBCC. I've also undergone 3 major surgeries in my life in 3 different provinces, and so I know how this healthcare system works and doesn't work across Canada. I also live with autoimmune disease, which is important to mention. And finally, an experience I don't wish upon anyone is that I've already lived through a natural disaster. I was living in Japan during the earthquake, tsunami, and nuclear disaster. So I take natural disasters and the increasing disasters by climate change very seriously, and the inaction by our governments very seriously, which is why I decided to run for the Green Party, because it is the only party that is taking this truly as seriously as it is. So the 3 priorities for me is to, of course, transition to renewable energy as quickly as possible. Number 2 is to restore our healthcare system so it's fair across Canada, especially here in New Brunswick. And number 3, unlike the other parties up here, the Green Party, you do not need to vote along party lines. So I can truly be a voice for Moncton-Riverview-Dieppe in Ottawa. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly. Our last candidate of tonight from the NDP, Luke McLaren.
So thank you to the organizers and moderator for having us here tonight, and thank you to everyone that came out and to everyone that will be watching. So we have 6 questions lined up for tonight, which I'm sure will dig quite deep into the NDP's platform. So I'd like to let you know a little bit about myself. I am 23 years old, so I'm a bit younger than Claire. And I actually started on this journey when I was in high school doing student government at Riverview High School. And then that transitioned into university where I did my House Council, Model United Nations, and also gave mental health seminars to residences for first-year students making the transition from high school to university. And since then, I've been working in nonprofit, doing different school activities for French immersion students in Halifax. And when the opportunity came up to run as an NDP candidate here in Moncton-Riverview-Dieppe, it was too good to turn down. I took political science at St. FX, and I was expecting to get into politics eventually. I just didn't expect it to be this soon in my life, but it's been incredibly exciting and very rewarding so far. 3 of the big things in our platform are our plan to tackle the climate crisis, the affordable housing issue here in Canada, and most notably in Moncton, and also our universal pharmacare system. The reason why I feel as though I'm credited to be standing up here talking about it is because these are things that I've experienced through my own life, and a lot of Canadians are also experiencing right now. It's 50% of Canadians are living paycheck to paycheck and continue to ask themselves when they're going to get these services and when they're going to get these breaks that other people are getting. And that's something that I continuously asked myself when I was younger. You know, when is my family going to get these breaks? When are we going to have the opportunity to feel financially stable? And instead of sitting back and hoping that someone would do it this election, I decided to put my own name forward and try to be that change. Thank you.
Thank you, Luke McLaren. Yes. Yeah, thank you. So thank you for all candidates actually for the introductory remarks. Prior to the first question, I just want to remind the public here in the room just to keep the noise level as low as possible. No applause until the end of the debate. And also, certaines questions ce soir, en fait, 2 questions seront posées en français, 4 questions en anglais. So we jump right away in our first question, and we ask a reporter from Huddle, Inda Intiar, to ask the first question to Ginette Petitpas-Taylor.
So my first question is about the future of the labor market. We all know that automation is a large factor that has and will make the Canadian labor market change significantly. Businesses and organizations may turn to automation to cope with a shortage of workers, to increase productivity, or to be more efficient. So my question is, how would you balance between keeping Canada competitive in a world that's increasingly automated and also ensuring that Canadians are ready for a changing labor market?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for the question. I know that when I meet with small and medium-sized business owners here in New Brunswick and also nationally, this is a topic that comes up all the time. People are very concerned and they want to make sure that they have the skilled labor that is needed to transition into this different economy that is coming up. When we're talking about the green economy and the green environment, we certainly know that there's many jobs that are going to be created in that area. And as such, I'm very proud that our government has been looking ahead and making sure that investments are being made in this area. Over the past year, we have made significant investments in making sure that we can provide additional funding for people in the skilled trading area, specifically in the area of green energy and clean energy, the area of making sure that we have skilled workers in the retrofit sector, specialists that can do the audits and the energy audits. We've made specific investments in that. And the other part of investments that I'm extremely proud of as well is when it comes to having women enter the trades. We have made specific investments in that. We know there are good jobs and we want to see more women entering the trades, so we've provided them with financial support to get the help they need.
Thank you, Ms. Petit-Taylor. Ms. Godin-Charest, you can answer now.
Thank you for your question. The Conservative Party, what we want to do to generate growth and job creation, we want to, first of all, repeal the changes made by Bill Monod in the Income Tax Act for dividend and income splitting. The other thing that we want to do is reduce the red tape by 25%. We want to cut corporate welfare by $1.5 billion to focus on regional development and economic development for community projects. So that's important. And we want also to create a national corridor, energy corridor, that will control our own resources. And we want to this will generate economic and social benefits. And the entire country will benefit from it. We will be able to move oil, gas, electricity, and telecommunication through this, de cette façon. Merci.
Thank you, Ms. Godin-Charest. Mr. Driver, you can answer the same question.
Thank you so much for the question. As the owner of small businesses and also medium business, today we're experiencing the challenges of the new technologies that are continually being poured upon us. Our workforce are experiencing the challenges also. I know this year that within 5 years there's going to be drivers of trucks are going to be looking for work because of the self-driving industry going green. The People's Party of Canada believes is through education. And our position is education, retooling, reskilling should be handled by the provinces through the education ministry. And we would like to, by balancing the budget and eliminating corporate welfare, get more money to the provinces so they can focus on regional issues and economic opportunities that they have here in New Brunswick. Also, by building the pipeline to St. John, it's going to create great opportunities and great new investments. So I thank you for that.
Thank you, Mr. Driver. Ms. Kelly, now you can answer the same question.
So we actually need to be moving away from boom and bust projects that are like building pipelines. We need to divest from fossil fuel industry, which is a dying industry anyway, and take all of those investments and jobs that would just be primarily in 1 or 2 provinces and spread them across Canada. We could create 4 million jobs with clean energy jobs, so in solar, wind, geothermal, retrofitting houses and buildings. And when it comes to AI interruption, we actually had this question at the schools today. We would like to institute a tax for large corporations equal to an income tax normally paid by employees who have been laid off by AI. And the third thing I would like to mention is, with that tax revenue, that would also be going towards eliminating tuition for college and university, because we know that we will be needing a massive retraining of skilled labor in Canada.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly. And to finish this question, the answer of Luke McLaren.
So one of the major keys of the NDP platform is to make sure every decision we make does not leave any workers behind. And one of the biggest things that we are planning on doing to increase the amount of jobs here in Canada is reinvesting into our Canadian auto industry. We're seeing these factories being shut down and thousands of people losing their employment. With the transition into the climate crisis and how we're going to fight that, we will be trying to transition into making a lot of electric vehicles that are made here in Canada, and that will just boost up more jobs in the auto industry. And also with that transition, like Claire said, with retrofitting buildings and solar panels and everything that we're doing to try to move away from a gas environment will create jobs, and it's in our platform that we will have at least 300,000 jobs created from that. Here in Moncton, we're even seeing a big expansion downtown, and for one of the first times ever, we actually need workers here. And a big part of that is welcoming new families here, whether it be from different countries, different provinces, and making New Brunswick a place where they want to be, have them have that employment and make them like to stay as well.
Thank you, Mr. McLaren. We have 1 minute and a half to debate that question. I'm not sure who want to start. Mr. Driver?
I'd like to say that by starting that artificial intelligence is expanding rapidly, and then with the connection of the 5G network, we're going to see rapid accelerated growth in automation throughout every part of our economy, right down to healthcare, to reading x-rays. So this is going to affect literally millions and millions of employment jobs. And we need to start really recognizing where are these new jobs going to be coming from, and from what industries are we going to be creating these new jobs. And I'd like to suggest to you that oil will be dead by 2050. So why not use this resource that we have in Canada and build the pipeline to St. John and take the profits from those industries and then reinvest them into the new emerging industries that are coming forth.
Because pipelines are tripling our consumption. So the Trans Mountain, for example. I don't think the East Energy pipeline is ever going to be built because Quebec won't allow it. But the Trans Mountain, for example, will triple.
We will not allow Quebec to stop the pipeline. We will use Section 92 of the Constitution, and we will give 12 months consensus. And if there's no consensus, there will be a pipeline in St. John, New Brunswick.
Thank you, Mr. Driver. Ms. Kelly?
It may not only be Quebec who will protest that, but in terms of pipelines of Trans Mountain, which is currently on the table and being discussed, the reason we are against that is because that is tripling our consumption, going from 300,000 barrels a day to 890,000 barrels a day. We need to get off it.
We have to stop. We have to stop buying. We have to stop buying. We have to stop. We have to stop buying Saudi oil.
Before
We cannot
Madame
continue to
Godin.
buy. Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
Okay. Okay. Well, just quickly, 10 seconds, Madam.
I was simply going to say it's truly important to make sure that women enter this exciting new market when it comes to skills training for this new generation and this new economy. And that's why I'm proud that we've made specific investments to make sure that women can enter this very important field.
Okay. Same deal. 10 seconds.
Well, we were talking about the pipeline, so I was just going to ask my colleague here if she was in agreement with her leader purchasing the pipeline, the Trans Mountain pipeline.
Okay, so we need 5 seconds at least to respond, Ms.
Do I get 10 seconds
Taylor.
after?
Luke, yeah, I know.
Okay, can I go now?
Quickly, yeah.
Okay, it's just a response to Mr. Driver anyway. He said that oil will be dead by 2050, and if we do move ahead with this pipeline, there's a chance that we might also be dead by 2050.
We're over time. Everybody's yelling in my ears. No, that's not true. But quickly, a quick answer from Ms. Taylor on the question, please.
I'll be very frank, it's a very difficult decision that was made, but what we have to recognize is that for every dollar that was spent in purchasing the pipeline, $15 has also been spent in green economy. So we have to keep that in mind as well.
Okay, thank you. So, second question now, once again by Inda Intiar. This one will be asked directly to Sylvie Godin-Charest.
This question is about small businesses. According to Innovation, Science and Economic Development Canada's January report, companies with fewer than 100 employees make up more than 97% of all employer businesses in Canada. Small businesses actually generated more than 40% of private sector GDP in 2014, but almost half of them don't survive past 10 years. So seeing how important small businesses are, how do you plan to support their growth?
First and foremost, our ACOA minister needs to be from the Atlantic provinces. That doesn't make any sense that today the ACOA minister is from Toronto. So we need to fix this. Let's start with that. So second, we need to reduce taxes, cut the red tape, and also make it easier for people to want to do business here. I don't know any business person that was not affected by the Bill Monod changes. In fact, Ms. Ginette Petit-Taylor was her parliamentary secretary at that point in time also. So we need to review the changes for income splitting and passive income, and we will do that as a Conservative government. People are struggling right now to pay their bills. We don't want the companies to also be struggling and close their doors. We need to support small businesses. In Moncton, it's a big part of our economy in our greater Moncton area. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Driver, your answer?
Thank you very much. As a father of 7 children, 11 grandchildren, and as my first business opened when I was 22 years old, I'm proud to say that 4 of my children currently operate small and medium-sized businesses. What's unique about the People's Party of Canada's platform is as soon as we balance that budget, we're going to lower corporate taxes and we're going to abolish the capital gains tax. Just by abolishing the capital gains tax for businesses is going to create great opportunities for businesses, instead of sending the money to a bureaucracy in Ottawa, to reinvest in their businesses and to take risk in investing, and also to take on new opportunities that present themselves. More net revenue for the small business equals more jobs. So I truly believe that our economic platform is going to drive the economy. And also, we're going to relook at the economic brick wall that Quebec has built over the past 75 years, alienating Atlantic Canada from the rest of Canada.
Thank you, Mr. Driver. Claire Kelly now can answer the same question.
Sure. So while we're on the point of tax first, I want to say that we do need to do better for all Canadians, especially small and medium-sized businesses, but also these ambitious programs that we have in our platform can be taken if we do start taxing our large corporations a bit more. So in Canada, we have a very low, large corporate tax, it's 15%. We want to bring that back up to 21%. And with that extra 6%, that could go to so many more ambitious programs. But when it comes to small and medium-sized businesses, I agree that they're not getting the funding that they deserve. There's someone who grew up in Riverview named Mark Rabin who started Portable Electric, which is a renewable energy business. And he might have to take his business to the US because he's not getting the support here. If we took the investments from the fossil fuel industry and actually started investing in clean energy projects like that, he could stay here. And it would be a great addition to our economy and to Canada moving forward.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly. Luke McLaren, your answer on the same question?
Yes, so as we know here in Moncton, there are a lot of great small businesses that are running here, and it would be an absolute shame to see any of them have to leave. One thing that the NDP is proud of is that the current small business tax is at 9%. It will not be raised under an NDP government. It will not be touched. It will be staying at 9%. With our Universal Pharmacare plan, that will be saving $600 per year per employee for each company, which will help these small businesses be able to put that into different means of their company. And one third thing that we wanted to point out is that family transfers for these small businesses to pass these businesses along and make sure that's an easy transition is something that right now is actually very difficult. We want to make that easier for families to be able to keep their business going on. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. McLaren. Jeanette Petit-Taylor, your answer.
We certainly recognize that small and medium-sized businesses are the backbone of our economy here provincially and nationally. And we certainly recognize that they are the ones that generate many jobs and many good jobs, and they absolutely do need and deserve all of our support. That's why that I was pleased that our government lowered the tax from 11% to 9%. And I find it ironic that my colleague, Sylvie Godin-Charest, has mentioned the ACOA minister being from Ontario. The ACOA minister is very much supportive of ACOA. And in actual fact, we have received $168 million in additional funding for ACOA. And that investment actually was voted against by the Conservative government this year in Ottawa. So it's quite shameful to see that that has happened. With respect to also wanting to make sure that we make the investments that are needed, when I speak to small and medium-sized businesses, one thing that I hear about a lot is we need to have investments when it comes to high-speed internet. They absolutely need to have the tools to do their business, and having access to high-speed internet is an absolute priority, and investments are being made in that area as well.
So we launched a debate phase of that question. Who wants to start? Mr. Driver?
As a small business owner, Justin Trudeau insulted my 4 children myself when he said all small business owners are tax cheats. I would suggest to you right now that the government cannot even run a government properly. How are we going to let the government try to make business successful? Let the entrepreneurs run their businesses. Let's reduce taxes. And the big issue with us is corporate welfare, where the largest corporations get the liberal and conservative donations. My small businesses pay our corporate taxes, and they take the money and give it to large corporations who then in turn compete against our companies, which is unfair and unjustified. So cut corporate taxes and let business take care of itself. Entrepreneurs have built this country.
Ms. Godin-Charest?
I have a question for Madame Jeanette Petit-Taylor. So you know that small and medium-sized businesses are a huge part of our economy. And you were the parliamentary secretary to Bill Morneau at the point 2 years ago when he made damaging changes to the Income Tax Act. What have you done as our MP in Moncton-Riverview-Dieppe to prevent these changes and to speak up for the business community here in Moncton.
Well, in actual fact, being the parliamentary secretary to the Minister of Finance allowed me to have a direct voice to Bill Morneau and to share with him some of the concerns, but also some
What
of the
were the
positive
concerns?
comments that
What
we've
were the
heard from many
concerns?
individuals. And in actual fact, I'm very proud that we lowered the tax rate from 11% to 9%, and that was something that we were all very pleased to support.
May you share with us?
Thank you. Well, we're out of time. Luke McLaren or Claire Kelly, quick 10 seconds each, maybe?
Yeah, instead of going after someone, I'd actually like to build on what Madame Petitpas-Taylor said, and that is to have these internet accesses to small businesses that will save them a lot of money every year. And with the NDP, we're planning on putting a cap on internet and cell phone prices to lower those prices to help small businesses.
And I would like to say, yeah, thank you for lowering the taxes down to 9%. We will not touch that, but we do need to tax large corporations more. Like, we need to, at least, the US is also 15%. Ours used to be much higher. We need to raise it back up.
Thank you all. First question in French, we're going to Anthony Hazard. This question will be asked directly to Stephen Driver.
Bonsoir. Le rêve des Canadiens d'acheter une maison semble de plus en plus inaccessible. Ils doivent faire le choix d'économiser plus longtemps ou encore d'acheter une maison moins dispendieuse afin de réaliser ce rêve partiellement. La question: comment évalueriez-vous les politiques et les règles mises en place actuellement afin que plus de Canadiens puissent se permettre de devenir propriétaires de maisons?
Ça, c'est une très bonne question. Cette question est faite exactement pour moi. Ça, c'est une des grosses raisons que j'ai décidé d'embarquer dans les politiques. J'ai 7 enfants, puis quand je suis 22 ans, j'ai acheté ma première maison, puis ma hypothèque ma salaire annuel était 3 ans de salaire et veut couvrir le coûtant de la maison. Aujourd'hui, on voit des maisons qui ça vaut 1 million, 1,2 million. C'est une crise à Vancouver, Toronto, Montréal maintenant de l'affordability. Moi, je suggérais qu'on avait des chances de donner les gens moins des impôts avec plus de salaires. Mais pas juste ça, parce que j'ai un fils qui sauvait l'argent, puis chaque année, quand il a rendu un montant sortant, il n'est pas capable d'acheter. Moi, je veux peut-être demander de la CMHC, le Central Mortgage and Housing, de monter des années d'amortissement, puis aussi avec le demi d'immigration à 150, et veut donner une chance à la gens, nos jeunes Canadiens, d'établir une racine pour acheter une maison. Excusez.
Merci, M. Driver. Madame Kelly, votre réponse?
Oui, c'est certainement une crise. Comme j'ai dit, j'ai vécu aux 6 provinces ici au Canada. Et bien sûr, tout le monde sait que c'est un problème au Toronto, Victoria, Vancouver. Ça prend comme 20 ans pour avoir le deposit pour acheter une maison. Les gens, mon âge, on peut pas même penser d'avoir une maison dans ces villes. Mais j'étais tellement surpris aussi que j'ai vu que c'est une crise ici à Moncton. Bien sûr, on voit qu'il y a plusieurs de gens qui n'ont pas même une maison. Alors, c'est une crise. Alors, pour le Parti vert, on voudrait législer le logement comme un droit humain. Ça, c'est premièrement. Si ça, c'est un droit humain qu'on peut législer, on peut avoir des projets. Et deuxièmement, on veut un ministre du logement, parce que c'est une crise partout au Canada. On a déjà, les libéraux ont bien fait avec une stratégie de logement ici au Canada, partout au Canada, mais on voit que c'est encore une crise. On doit ajouter à ça et penser à des loyers et aussi des coopératives. Ça devrait être inclus.
Merci, Mme Kelly. Monsieur McLaren, votre réponse?
Oui, ici en Moncton et en Canada, on voit que c'est une crise ici de logement abordable. Et pour acheter une maison, comme tu as dit, c'est un rêve ici pour les personnes de mon âge et beaucoup d'autres personnes ici en Moncton. Une chose qu'on veut faire pour adresser la crise de logement abordable, c'est de construire 500 000 places de logement abordable autour du Canada, pas juste dans Toronto puis Montréal, mais autour en chaque région. On veut aussi avoir des maisons sociales où des personnes peuvent vivre ensemble. C'est quelque chose qu'il a déjà fait en certaines régions et on veut faire tout autour pour promouvoir que vous pouvez faire ça. On veut aussi donner ou mis une taxe d'acheter des maisons de les personnes d'autres pays. Et avoir plus de personnes ici en Canada qui peuvent acheter des maisons et pas d'autres pays.
Merci, M. McLaren. Madame Petitpas-Taylor?
Merci beaucoup pour Cette question très importante. Moi, je vois vraiment deux composantes pour répondre à cette question-là. Premièrement, c'est sûr qu'il y a des gens de notre communauté qui veulent s'acheter leur première maison. Puis souvent, ils vont avoir besoin de l'aide. Je suis très contente dans le budget 2019 que nous avons mis sur pied un incitatif à travers le CMHC qu'ils peuvent avoir un prêt de 10 pour pouvoir mettre leur premier paiement pour leur maison, qui rend l'abordabilité plus facile, puis souvent ça va diminuer leur prix mensuel de 10 L'autre partie de ta question aussi, quand même, c'est la question des gens qui cherchent un logement abordable. Puis comme l'a fait mention M. McLaren, il y a beaucoup de gens de notre communauté qui font face à une crise. Je suis très contente que notre gouvernement a mis le premier plan national, la stratégie nationale sur le logement. Nous avons non seulement fait une stratégie, mais nous avons mis l'argent derrière la stratégie. 40 milliards de dollars sur une période de 10 ans. Au Nouveau-Brunswick, nous avons signé l'entente bilatérale en 2018 et puis c'est 300 millions de dollars pour la province du Nouveau-Brunswick. Nous allons continuer à travailler avec nos partenaires pour adresser cette situation.
Madame Godin-Charret, votre réponse maintenant?
Merci. Ce n'est pas un secret que les gens ont de la difficulté à arriver et payer leurs factures. Donc, le rêve d'avoir une maison est de plus en plus loin. Qu'est-ce qu'on veut faire comme gouvernement conservateur? Nous voulons rendre la vie plus abordable pour justement aider aux familles, aux personnes d'obtenir un logement abordable. Donc, une autre priorité aussi qu'on a dans notre plateforme, c'est de transférer les propriétés fédérales non utilisées à des développeurs pour développer des logements abordables. Donc, par exemple, ici à Moncton, nous avons la base militaire numéro 5 qu'on pourrait transférer à des développeurs pour créer un super de beau projet et créer des logements abordables. Une autre mesure, c'est d'assouplir les mesures imposées par les libéraux, le fameux stress test. Donc, nous, on veut l'enlever. Puis aussi, on aimerait augmenter le taux d'amortissement de 25 à 30 ans. À 30 ans, c'est ça. Donc, ce sont des mesures que nous voulons mettre en place pour aider la difficulté que les gens font face tout de suite.
Merci pour votre réponse, Mme Godin-Charret. Débat maintenant.
J'ai perdu ma mère l'année passée à 96 ans. À 90 ans, son chèque social du gouvernement du Canada, sa loyer, il dépassait le chèque. J'ai fait venir ma mère chez nous, puis par chance, c'est bon. Un de mes enfants a déjà sauvé 70 000 $. Il fait 15 ans pour sauver cet argent-là. Puis elle est allé à la banque avec le nouveau projet de Mme Petitpas-Edil. Puis le gérant de banque dit, même avec ce programme-là, tu ne peux pas acheter. So, un rêve d'acheter des maisons, c'est pour des jeunes Canadiens, maintenant, c'est pas là. À Toronto, c'est prendre 2 salaires de jeunes Canadiens juste pour payer son loyer. Ouais. Juste pour payer son loyer.
Merci, M. Driver. Mme Kelly?
Bien sûr, on le sait ça, parce que nous sommes assez jeunes et on n'a pas... c'est encore un rêve pour avoir une maison. Nous sommes loyer à loyer. Alors ça, c'est pourquoi on devrait, premièrement, penser aux des stratégies pour inclure des gens qui ont le loyer et aussi des coopératifs. On a entendu, Luc a mentionné la semaine passée, qu'il y a des gens qui sont sur des listes pour 23 ans à attendre pour un logement abordable. Et la raison, c'est depuis les deux gouvernements conservateurs et libéraux, depuis 1984, ils ont coupé de ces projets. Alors, c'est tellement important pour réinvestir.
Monsieur McLaren?
Elle disait qu'est-ce que moi je disais. Oui, il y a une femme ici qui vivait en le Tent City, qui est sur la liste ici en Moncton pour 25 ans pour le logement abordable. Et quand j'ai vu ça, j'étais surpris qu'ici en Moncton, il y a des personnes qui ont besoin d'attendre et attendre pour juste avoir une maison abordable ici en Canada. Alors c'était une surprise pour moi, on a besoin de changer ça.
Merci. 10 secondes, Mme Godin-Charret.
Des stratégies nationales, Mme Ginette Petitpas-Taylor, mais qu'est-ce qu'était votre impact positif ici dans la circonscription? Parce que là, vous savez qu'on a un sérieux problème de TNCD d'itinérance.
Madame Petitpas-Taylor, rapidement.
Je suis très contente à répondre à ta question avec les investissements que nous avons faits avec la province du Nouveau-Brunswick. Ici, à Moncton-Riverview-Dieppe, entre 2015 et 2018, il y a 1 342 logements qui ont soit eu des rénovations ou qu'on a créés. Encore une fois, ça c'est une période de 3 ans. Notre stratégie est sur 10 ans. Il nous reste beaucoup de travail à faire. Puis je suis contente des investissements que nous avons faits.
Merci, Mme Petitpas-Taylor. Actually, we're going to stay in the same topic and ask David Gauvin from Times and Transcripts to ask the next question to Ms. Claire Kelly.
Actually, my question is about immigration. The new Greater Moncton immigration strategy says we need up to 3,500 newcomers a year to supply our workforce and to grow the local economy. But a lot of people still think that immigrants steal jobs from New Brunswickers instead of helping the economy grow. So my question is, what would you do to keep immigrants in New Brunswick and keep them from moving, going on down the road, and to better educate other New Brunswickers about the importance of immigration to our economy?
Yeah, that is a great question for me because this is my field of study and field of work. And I would like to acknowledge that due to one of, not so much Stephen, but in the People's Party of Canada in general, there has been a very harmful rhetoric around immigration. The term mass immigration is very harmful. And even cutting it down to 150,000 people per year is not enough. It's not enough to sustain, actually. We are an aging population across Canada, and especially here in New Brunswick. So having points like that is very harmful because the reality is that we need immigration. And in terms of how we want to help people stay here, I would like to see the IRCC office return to Moncton. That was cut under the Conservatives. It hasn't been returned under the Liberals, but I would like to see that. We need to improve immigration pathways. International students, I work with them every day, and explaining the immigration pathways to them is extremely complicated. We need to simplify it. We need to help educate them and employers and combat rhetoric.
Mr. McLaren, your answer to that same question?
So I actually briefly touched on this earlier, here in Moncton is one of the first times ever where we are looking for workers here with the downtown expansion that's planned. And we are welcoming new immigrant families. There was a report that just came out that said New Brunswick's population is the highest it's ever been, and it is because of immigration here to New Brunswick, which is amazing. In Canada, we're very proud of our diversity, and that goes to say the same in New Brunswick. And to say that these people are stealing good Canadian jobs, well those jobs are there. We need them filled. We need people to fill them. And another big thing is having family reunification while we're on the topic of immigration, because if we're able to get someone set up here and we have a job for them here in Moncton and they feel comfortable, but we tell them that their family can't come with them, that makes them basically terrified being in a place where now you have to go to work sometimes. There might still be language or culture barriers, and we want to make it a lot easier for parents and grandparents to come with these people so that they're able to get a leg up here in Canada and really start off on the right foot with employment and their supporters with them.
Thank you, Mr. McLaren. Madame, Miss Petit-Pot-Taylor, switching French and English. Yeah.
C'est correct, it's fine. Increasing our immigration numbers is absolutely a priority for all levels of government within this country. And I was very proud last week to see that Moncton launched his strategic plan for the next 4 years. We certainly recognize with an aging population, with the low birth rate, that we certainly have to replenish our population, and immigration is the way forward. I'm proud that our government put in place the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Project. We have opened the door here in Atlantic Canada, and Moncton has really benefited from the numbers of immigrants that are coming in. The other thing as well that I'm extremely proud of, and we're thinking outside of the box now, but in our platform this year, we are proposing to bring forward a municipal nominee program. So chambers of commerce and local council groups would be able to sponsor permanent residents to come and work here. And they would be able to go get the people that they need, the skills that they need in order to meet the demand. We have to also recognize that we have to educate our population. Most small and business owners realize that we need immigration. But to your point, we certainly know that some people just don't understand the needs. So we have to do a better job with that.
Thank you, Ms. Petit-Pot-Taylor. Ms. Godin-Charret, please.
Thank you. We have a labor shortage, it's clear. We need immigration. It's our reality, and we need to fix the accreditation system. That's what we need to fix first. And we have nurses here, we have a nurse shortage, but we have nurses, immigrant nurses working in call centers, and there's a shortage, so that's ridiculous. We need to fix that. Second thing, we need to also amend the Atlantic Pilot Program for immigration. It's good that we have it, but there's a lot of loopholes in the program that we need to look at, such as postgraduate programs. Did you know that graduate from private post-secondary graduates cannot qualify for that program? So we need to make it so that they are also eligible, not only public schools, private schools such as Holton and Mackenzie College need to be eligible also. Another thing is for the postgraduate programs, we have, it only qualifies for students that are 2 years, a program in 2 years. So let's say someone has 1 year program, they cannot qualify. So we need to fix that too, to better the system.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Ganesha. Mr. Driver?
Thank you so much. It might shock the Green Party, but we're actually pro-immigration. The term mass migration was actually made by the United Nations, and Justin Trudeau's government went to Morocco this year and signed the UN Migration Pact. So it wasn't the People's Party of Canada that came out with that terminology. We're for sustainable immigration. My wife and I personally sponsored 12 Syrian refugees. We brought them to Canada a year and a half ago, 6 children, two sets of parents and a grandfather, grandmother, 12. And they were settled very well, and they've opened up their own business. They're actually employing Canadians now. What we're asking for is sustainable immigration, that we have an interview with potential new immigrants and ask them, would you be willing to settle in parts of Canada where immigration is needed? Would you commit to a 3-year term contract that you would come to the Atlantic provinces, stay there, and give them a chance to set their roots here and feel the warmth of the Atlantic provinces, and to give them opportunities to get in the work order? So we want sustainable immigration with a contract to send it to allow immigrants to go to regions where immigration is needed rather than Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal. And that's our policy.
Thank you, Mr. Driver. We're changing the rules on the fly. We'll have 5 minutes now for debate.
So that was the Global Migration Pact. It was not the Mass Immigration Pact, just to clarify. If it did refer to mass immigration, it is because we are going to experience, it's because due to climate change, we are going to experience mass immigration to move to Canada. Increased refugees due to climate change that's happening all around the world. So if they use the term mass immigration, that would have been the reference.
Why don't you just say you're for mass immigration?
But that is an inflammatory term.
That's what you just said.
It's a very harmful term.
Well, the harmful part of it is that the UN Migration Pact requires Canada to move its population to 41 million people by 2030, which is in 11 years. 11 years, bring up our population by another 5 million is almost 475,000 new immigrants per year. Our country cannot sustain this level of immigration. I've walked through hospitals. I've been with seniors. They're suffering. You have homelessness in the country. We have to start taking care of Canadians first. Yes, we're a welcoming country, and if you're a refugee who's being persecuted or your life is in danger, welcome, come to Canada. But to have mass migration at those levels, we're going to put Canada into a situation where we will never recover. I'm for sustainable immigration like we have been for the last 200 years.
But again, this is sustainable immigration. The numbers that we do have,
Bring
because
in,
of our aging population.
It's not sustainable.
Because of our aging population, we have, because of the baby boomers that we do need to take care of.
I do not need, I'm a baby boomer, I do not need to be taken care of. I took care of my mother. Thank you very much.
A labor market.
I do not need to be taken care of.
Thank you, thank you.
I think that we've certainly heard about the labor shortage that we're having in this country, and we absolutely have to fill those needs. I heard Mr. Driver earlier talk about the need for, truck drivers. Once again, we know that there's a huge need to increase our skilled labor force, and we have to make sure that we increase our immigration numbers. We also have to focus, though, on making sure that Atlantic Canada doesn't become a trampoline, that people are landing here and then from there going to bigger cities. We have to make sure that we are really being a welcoming community. We oftentimes ask our immigrants...
You're allowing migrants coming through from flying to New York, flying to Plattsburgh, taking a taxi, going through the woods, who are already in a safe country, and going to large centers.
Safe in the United States.
Well, I'm sorry, but I still have confidence in the United States.
We would like to repeal the Third Safe Country Act because the reason that
So
they're
should
going
we
through...
let 400 million Americans come to Canada
The
then?
reason that
if you
they're
have no
going
confidence in the
through
United
the
States?
U.S., we would like to repeal the Third Safe Country Act because if we did, they could actually go to the port of entry and claim asylum there.
Well, the
Thank you.
People's Party can't
We'll let
is
Ms.
enforcing that.
Petitpas-Taylor finish, and we have Ms. Godin-Charest just after.
Thank you.
So my point was just to say that we have to do a better job when welcoming our immigrants in our community. We ask them to become a part of our communities, but we also have to learn to become a part of their communities as well. I know in my community where I live in Moncton that I just love walking down my street and seeing all these people from different countries. And 10 years ago, we didn't see that here in Moncton. And I'm very proud of our community and all the work that's being done, to increase those numbers. And finally, one pitch that I also want to make, it's really important to Ms. Kelly's point about opening our immigration office in Moncton. I completely agree with you, Claire. Unfortunately, the Harper Conservatives closed it, and it's really tough to be opening all the offices that have been closed over 10 years.
It took 4 years to open an immigration office in
Moncton. And the other thing as well, if you may allow me, is the issue also of the Consulat Général de la France. There's a possibility of that office closing, and we have to make sure that we do all that we can to keep that office open.
Okay, Ms. Godin-Charest, please.
4 years to open
Mr. Driver,
So,
please.
Okay, there's a lot I want to say. Too bad
We
I
have
only
1
have
minute.
1 minute.
Go ahead.
I haven't
So-
even spoken yet.
So,
I know.
the office was in our writing. So what did you do? What
we'll go
measures did you do?
That question quickly, well, 10 seconds,
Well,
Ms.
we're here.
Fitzpatrick, please.
Right now, the present, it's
Please,
the
please.
present.
We're in 2019 right now.
Okay, please, Ms. Fitzpatrick, answer.
The Harper Conservatives chose to balance their
Well,
budgets on the backs of Canadians and immigrants.
20
That is the answer to that, and we are working hard to make sure that we put it in place.
And what he did.
Mr. Driver,
I want to
let
know
her
what we're
finish,
going to
please.
do in
Mr.
2020.
Driver.
What is going to be done in 2020? I do not want to know what happened in 2013, 14. We have a lot of issues in Ottawa, and let's move. I do not want to move forward right now until we pick up the Canadians that your government has left behind.
Okay, 15 seconds for
during
Mr.
the
McLaren
time-
now.
during
No,
the time you
please,
were in
Mr.
charge.
McLaren, you have the right
5 minutes for
answer.
open debate and I get 10 seconds? That's embarrassing. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, like Jeanette Petitpas, or sorry, Madame Petitpas-Taylor, oh my goodness, said, we are incredibly proud of the diversity we have in Canada. My party leader is the first visible minority party leader here in Canada, and you still see some of the things that he has to deal with here in Canada just on his campaign trail. So I completely agree that there's a lot more that needs to be done in, educating our people about welcoming them, because yes, we have to adjust to their culture and they have to adjust to ours, and we need to learn how to live together, because that is what makes this country so beautiful, is having all these different cultures here.
Thank you, Mr. McLaren. Next question now, we're going back this time to affordable housing, right? David Gauvin, yes? Okay, yeah. No, so David Gauvin will have the next question to Luke McLaren directly.
Okay, if we can return to the subject of affordable housing. It was mentioned earlier, this is a growing problem in Moncton. Affordable housing is practically non-existent here. We have tent cities, poverty rates are stubborn, high child poverty rates. What specifically, with details, what would your party do to address homelessness and poverty and affordable housing in Metro Moncton and all New Brunswick?
Yep, so it's more than just putting a roof over someone's house. It's increasing mental health and addiction services. Right now, if you go to the Moncton Hospital in a mental health crisis, you are put on waiting lists and shown that you are not really a priority. And that is very tough for people that are going through these crises. And that is one part of it. Another one is, like I said, we are planning on building a lot of affordable housing units here across Canada, 500,000, with half of them being built in the first 5 years. We realize some of these people cannot wait 5 years to get into them, so we must supply immediate relief to these people. There's a shelter that was supposed to be opened here a few months ago, and it is still not open, while these people, winter is on its way, and they are still out there, and they need these spaces so that they can be safe in the winter. It's one part, like I said, there's a woman that's been here 25 years on a list for affordable housing and is still not moved up on that list. She was living in Tent City, and that's something that can't be happening here. We need to have these affordable housing units. We need to have these services to help them, because, like I said, winter is on its way, and we're running out of time.
Thank you, Mr. McLaren. Ms. Petitpas-Taylor.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for this really, really important question, a question that impacts all of us here in our community, but not only here in Moncton, really across the country. When it comes to homelessness, as I've mentioned earlier, I'm very proud that we've put in place the first national housing strategy, and we've backed it with money. It's not just a strategy. We've put $40 billion in this strategy in order to address the issue of housing, but also the issue of homelessness. The province of New Brunswick we signed a bilateral agreement with them in August of 2018. And through a part of that bilateral agreement, over $300 million has been provided to the province of New Brunswick. Out of that money as well, we certainly recognize that a lot of more work needs to be done, and it is the beginning. To Luke's point as well, addressing housing issues is not just about putting a roof over someone's head. We have to address mental health, substance use issues, and the list goes on. That is why that our government has made targeted investments in the area of mental health and substance use issues, and we have to continue to work with all of our partners on the ground to turn the tide on this crisis if we want to see the end of it.
Thank you, Ms. Petitpas-Taylor. Ms. Godet-Charest?
I've knocked on over 23,000 doors, and one of the top 3 issues here in the Greater Moncton area is public safety. People are scared to be in their own homes in the West End. People are scared to walk their dogs in the trails. People are afraid to let their children play in the park near Victoria Park. We need to address this issue and fast. We have Tent City that was displaced, but we're only displacing the problem, so we need to address it. What we want to do, Conservative government, as your MP, I would like to create a task force with the 3 levels of government, together with the municipal stakeholders and also the RCMP to address this urgent issue. We need to act that. I agree, it's a lot of layers. There's drug issues, there's also mental health issues, but we need to act fast, and that's my intention.
Thank you, Ms. Godet-Charest. Mr. Driver, your answer?
Was it about housing affordability, the question? Oh, good, thank you, because I thought it was another question. I'd like to suggest to you right now that housing affordability is in a crisis for not just drug users or street homelessness, but also for young Canadians on 2 incomes, making minimum wage, seniors, disabled. Disabled people are getting $762 a month right now, and the average rent in Moncton is $700. How are they supposed to eat? So I've heard all this rhetoric just now, but not one single solution. I heard about RCMP and all this. No, I would instruct the Central Mortgage and Housing Corporation to designate certain projects and put 50-year mortgages on those projects, and I would designate the BDC, to invest with entrepreneurs to build those. And there's right now, I believe the need in Canada is 150,000 units, not yesterday, but today.
Thank you, Mr. Driver. Ms. Kelly, your answer?
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that we're all on the same page with this. This should be a nonpartisan issue. So we should address this as soon as possible. As I said, we should implement a Minister of Housing because this is a crisis all across Canada. The Green Party would also like to increase the National Housing Co-Investment Fund by $750 million for new builds. But that should, as I mentioned, include rentals and cooperatives. In terms of affordability, we would love to get to the point where we can bring in guaranteed livable income for everyone. So we don't have Band-Aid solutions for every different type of problem, but bring in guaranteed livable income. But for now, what we do have costed in this platform is to bring in universal pharmacare, universal daycare, and eliminate tuition and student debt that already exists. All of this would really help with affordability.
Thank you for your answer, Ms. Kelly. We have another 5 minutes, so try to distribute the minutes accordingly, please.
So every time a problem is raised for government, everyone on this platform, on the stage, looks for government solutions. Your taxpayers' money. We're running a large deficit of approximately $20 billion per year. Housing affordability for low-income seniors and all that, it doesn't have to cost the government anything. Why don't we trust our entrepreneurs and give them the opportunity to build the projects with the right tools in place? They can accomplish this without creating another deficit, not throwing $700 million over here, $300 million over here. And my last 23 seconds, I'd just like to say that the Trudeau government invested $100 million in low or $300 million low-income housing, while the Canada Pension Plan invested $2.3 billion in a low-income housing project in Mumbai, India. So Google that one, and you'll find out that your pension money financed a low housing. So
I have to totally...
the left hand and the right hand are completely
Thank you, Mr. Driver.
disconnected.
We had just before Ms. Petitpas-Taylor that requested just So, Ms. Petit.
I simply wanted to say when we talk about housing and affordability, I'm really, again, I want to highlight a few of the programs that our government has put in place in order to lift people out of poverty. When we look at the Canada Child Benefit Program, this is a program that has lifted more than 300,000 children out of poverty in this country. In Moncton-Riverview and Dieppe alone, over 16,200 children benefit from this program. And as a result, it allows parents to be able to put some money aside for the rent, to purchase groceries, to buy the things that they need to raise their children. We've also increased the old age supplement by 10% for single low-income seniors, and we will continue to tackle these challenges by making investments in Canadians and not making cuts.
Ms. Kelly, please.
I do still think those are band-aid solutions. If we did have universal daycare, then we would be putting a lot more people back to work. And it would be single payer like our healthcare. But in regards to Mr. Driver's point about making Canada a bit more free market, if we look down at the US, their wealth gap is a lot more extreme than ours is. I do not want to move in that direction. We have seen brilliant examples in Europe and parts of Asia where they use their taxes for the benefit of everyone in their country. And so I do agree that we need to see where our tax money is going.
There's not one European country that's not running a deficit except for Germany.
I've got Mr. McLaren first, and after Madame Ms. Ganesha.
I'd like to kind of build off what Ms. Kelly was saying, and that is that we are lacking these services here in Canada, and it's because we are putting or trying to get our taxes in the wrong places. We can put a wealth tax on the top 1% earners here in Canada, a 1% wealth tax that will bring in $70 billion over the next 10 years. That has been costed, and that will let us, regular Canadians, everyday Canadians, to have these services like universal pharmacare, universal childcare, move into a, what's that?
We cannot afford that.
I just told you how we're going to afford
Our Medicare
it.
system
Our
is
platform
struggling
is
right
costed
now.
to be budgeted in 5 years,
cannot.
and we can't afford it. It's
I'm so
in
sorry.
there. If we
Perfect
do
world, we
tax
could.
the wealthy, 1%, if we do increase our corporate tax
Canadians
rate to
are tired of the
21.
word tax. All we hear all day long is tax.
Canadians don't need any more
And
taxes,
now,
but the wealthy
now we
do.
have the liberal
Cannot
government
do that.
telling us that we need government checks to feed our children. That's what a poor state Canada is in, that we need the government to send us a check every month so that we can feed our children. That should be enough evidence for
Thank
you
you.
that we have to get rid of this 40 years of liberals and conservatives and start moving forward with balanced budgets
Okay, Mr. Driver.
and lower taxes. Thank you.
Ms. Ganesha.
Madam Petit-Pateller, you had a national strategy for housing, and 10 cities exploded on your watch here in Moncton. What was your local strategy?
Well, in actual fact, Madame Godin-Charest, we've
Has
worked...
it improved?
If
Has
you,
it-
would,
has
you,
it
would, you, would
improved?
you allow me to answer the question,
Well, that's
please?
another question that I have.
Okay.
Has it improved?
So with respect to your work that you've brought forward, you've indicated that the first action that you wanted to do was to put in place a task force. I guess my only question, it's maybe just a comment, not even a question. There is, at this point in time in Moncton, a steering committee on homelessness with 40 experts that are sitting around the table that know this file very, very well. I'm not so sure that creating another task force, another committee, is going to solve the problem. I think we've heard with respect to the work that is being done, this is a complex matter. And we've made some investments, and I know that you are on the board of La Maison Nazareth, and a few of your partners are here this evening. We've provided them with funding in order to provide the emergency shelter. But we recognize as well that the emergency shelter is not going to solve the homelessness problem in the city. We have to continue to work together. We have to put all housing...
prior to the election.
No, actually, Sylvie, that funding was given to the government in 2018, and you need to know that. We need to correct the record when it comes to that.
Thank you, everybody. The question
What
is...
was your strategy?
Thank you. Final question of the night. Question en français. Cette fois-ci, Anthony Hazard qui posera cette question à Madame Ginette Petit-Pas-Taylor.
Bonsoir, Madame Petit-Pas-Taylor. Le 27 septembre dernier, des centaines de communautés au Canada ont pris part à la Marche mondiale pour le climat. À Montréal, ils étaient près d'un demi-million. Plusieurs communautés du Nouveau-Brunswick ont également participé. À Moncton, par exemple, la marche organisée par le groupe Symbiose a attiré près de 2000 personnes. La question: nous devons tous faire notre part, tant les citoyens que les grandes entreprises. Qu'est-ce qui peut être fait dans notre circonscription?
Merci beaucoup pour cette question, puis une question qui nous touche tous et chacun d'entre nous, puis on doit agir maintenant. Je suis content que notre gouvernement a pris des initiatives, mais on doit être même plus ambitieux, et puis c'est ça exactement que nous allons faire. La première chose quand même qu'on doit clarifier, c'est que les experts, les scientifiques nous disent que la meilleure manière qu'on peut réduire la pollution, c'est de mettre un prix sur le carbone ou la tarification sur le carbone. Notre parti écoute aux experts, puis c'est exactement qu'est-ce que nous avons fait. Nous reconnaissons que si on met un prix sur le carbone, les gens vont changer leur comportement. Et puis, il y a 4 juridictions ici au Canada qui ont choisi de ne pas faire le travail eux-mêmes. Ça fait le gouvernement fédéral a dû agir. Nous avons aussi mis sur pied un plan d'action climatique. Et puis, il y a au-delà de 50 items qui font partie de ce plan-là. Nous allons continuer à faire sûr que les investissements nécessaires soient faits pour, encore une fois, s'assurer qu'on peut rencontrer nos objectifs de zéro émission par 2050. Et puis, encore une fois, dans la plateforme électorale, il y a une série de recommandations, mais là, je finis mon temps, ça fait qu'on pourrait en discuter tout à l'heure, je suis certaine.
Ms. Godin-Charret. Madame Godin-Charret.
Les changements climatiques sont vrais et réels. La taxe sur le carbone ne fonctionne pas. Elle ne fait rien autre qu'augmenter le coût de la vie pour les gens. J'ai encore une fois frappé sur plus de 23 000 portes dans le Grand Moncton et c'est une question qui revient tour à chaque porte. Donc, on en discute. Les gens ne sont pas pour la taxe sur le carbone. Ici, nous vivons dans une région rurale. On n'a pas de bon système d'autobus, on n'aura jamais de métro, on n'a pas l'équipement nécessaire et on n'a pas l'infrastructure, on ne l'aura jamais. Donc, dites ça à la madame qui reste à Riverview ou Salisbury, qui travaille au Shoppers Drug Mart ici à Dieppe. Ça lui coûte de l'argent et ça vient de sa poche. Donc, qu'est-ce que nous, on veut faire? On veut créer des incitatifs aux gens pour faire mieux. On veut aussi taxer les plus gros émetteurs. Aussi mettre en place des programmes d'innovation de technologie verte. Donc, ça, c'est important. Nous voulons aussi avoir une stratégie nationale pour le recyclage et puis réduire le plastique. Donc, il faut réglementer aussi nos beaux cours d'eau et nos mers, nos océans. Donc,
merci, Mme Godin-Charret.
Merci.
Monsieur Driver, votre réponse?
Merci beaucoup. C'est très important l'environnement pour le Parti populaire du Canada. On croit d'avoir le clean air. Comment ça s'appelle clean air en français? En tout cas,
L'air pur.
L'air pur, merci beaucoup. Puis clean water, puis la terre avec sans toxines. Avec ça, on croit que la meilleure place pour attaquer des problèmes locaux puis les problèmes régionaux, c'est dans chaque province. On veut donner le pouvoir à chaque province de trouver c'est quoi la chose. On veut abolir le taxe carbone, puis on veut sortir dans le Paris Climate d'accord. Puis on ne pense pas le mondial, il veut finir dans 18 mois. Puis on ne pense pas qu'il veut arriver dans 20 ans. Plusieurs gens de dire, excusez-moi, OK, merci.
C'est bon, Monsieur Driver, merci. Madame Kelly, votre réponse?
Oui, je suis presque pas du tout d'accord avec ce que M. Driver a dit. Mais premièrement, on devrait d'investir notre d'argent des Canadiens des énergies fossiles. On doit investir dans des projets des énergies renouvelables. On peut voir dans chaque communauté, même ici à Moncton-Riverview-Dieppe. Numéro 2, on a besoin de cette taxe du carbone. C'est essentiel pour changer notre manière de vie. Mais je comprends pourquoi des gens étaient tellement fâchés de la manière dont c'était déroulé, parce qu'on n'avait pas eu des autres incitatifs pour voyager des places et on n'a pas vu où cet argent était allé. On n'a pas vu des éoliennes ou des panneaux solaires. Alors, la manière que c'était déroulé, je n'étais pas impressée. Mais troisième, spécifiquement ici à Moncton-Riverview-Dieppe, notre eau potable à Turtle Creek, c'est en danger à cause des glyphosites. Il y a un lien avec le algue bleue et les glyphosites. On doit bannir les glyphosites. Merci.
Merci, Mme Kelly. Monsieur McLaren, votre réponse?
Moi, je connais qu'on a une crise climatique ici au Canada, puis en Moncton-Riverview-Dieppe. Je suis très fier d'être un des deux candidats qui était en marche pour le climat et le débat sur le climat. Pour parler à propos de ceci, le NPD sont fiers de dire que le premier jour en Ottawa, on va arrêter le subsidiaire aux compagnies de gaz et pétroliers. Et on va prendre cet argent qu'on dépense chaque année, c'est plus que 3 billions. Et on va mettre dans la transition d'une économie et une société de gaz à une avec les énergies et les technologies renouvelables, parce que ça, c'est la transition qu'on a besoin de faire pour avoir un futur ici en Canada. On va aussi investir dans les transports publics électriques par 2030. Et tous les établissements nouveaux vont être électriques et on va renouveler toutes les résidences en Canada par 2050 avec des technologies renouvelables.
Merci, M. McLaren. Place au débat.
Je veux donner moi la chance de dire Mme Claire Kelly a dit tout à l'heure nos partis avaient une position hypocrite au niveau de l'immigration, mais je veux suggérer Elizabeth May, c'est une hypocrite au niveau de l'environnement. Le Paris Accord dit il faut nous baisser nos émissions 30% en bas de 2005. Mais je veux finir le statement, puis tu peux répondre. 30% en bas de 2005. Elle supportait mass migration. Qu'est-ce que c'est fait quand tu as enlevé la population? Tu avais plus de carbone, plus des voitures, plus des maisons, plus. Ça, c'est une chose, sustainable immigration. Puis aussi le taxe qui pour arriver à cette target-là, c'est connu, c'est $300 de chaque tonne. Puis maintenant, on taxait à $30 le tonne. So, il faut que tu enlèves la taxe 10 fois. Tu veux tuer chaque industrie ici au Canada.
OK, merci, M. Driver. Mme Kelly?
Ouais,
Réponse?
Les plans que les autres partis ont pour changer les climatiques, pour diminuer notre dépendance sur le carbone, c'est pas assez agressif pour atteindre le but de Paris. Nous sommes la seule partie. On a vu CBC la semaine passée, on a vu que le Parti vert, c'est la seule qui va vraiment atteindre ses buts. Mais deuxièmement, l'immigration, comme on a parlé dans le dernier débat, c'est pour remplacer des gens qui...
Moi, je suis d'accord de ce que vous dites, mais il veut coûter $100 milliards, puis tout le monde veut promener avec une bicyclette.
OK, pas seulement que ça va remplacer les travailleurs qui ont besoin, mais deuxième, on va avoir plusieurs des réfugiés environnementaux. Alors, ça, c'est aussi dans les immigrants qui viennent. Alors, ça, on devrait diminuer notre dépendance sur le carbone si tu veux diminuer l'immigration.
Si vous vraiment croyez de ce que vous êtes dire, pourquoi tu avais des enseignes en plastique qui disent Claire Kelly, Green Party, partout ici à Moncton?
OK, Madame Petitpas-Taylor, s'il vous plaît.
Premièrement, juste un petit commentaire que Mme Kelly a dit que c'était seulement le Parti vert qui allait atteindre ses objectifs, mais je pense aussi que le Parti libéral a des objectifs très ambitieux, puis la marque a quand même été très bonne pour le Parti vert aussi. J'aimerais aussi de tout simplement dire que si on regarde les investissements qui ont été faits dans la région de Moncton-Riverview-Dieppe autour des 4 dernières années, c'est plutôt des infrastructures de niveau vert. La pleine restauration de la rivière Petit-Kodiak. On n'est-tu pas content de notre belle rivière maintenant? Aussi, les investissements pour le traitement d'eau usagée Trans-Aqua. Encore une fois, des investissements. Du traitement commun, 19 nouveaux autobus. Cette semaine ici à Dieppe, 2 voitures électriques. Ça continue, ça continue. On doit progresser, on doit faire des investissements et non pas des coupures pour atteindre nos objectifs.
Madame Godin-Charest, s'il vous plaît.
Qu'est-ce qu'il faut réaliser, c'est qu'il ne faut pas taxer les gens. On doit leur donner des incitatifs et taxer les plus gros émetteurs. Donc, c'est ça que nous, on veut faire. Il faut avoir un plan de transition. On ne sera pas sans l'énergie fossile d'ici à demain matin. Donc, il faut nous accompagner à un meilleur endroit. Donc, nous, c'est ça qu'on veut faire. On veut contrôler nos propres ressources naturelles parce que tout de suite, nous sommes dépendants de l'Arabie saoudite et puis des pays du Venezuela, où est-ce que c'est que les lois sont beaucoup moins sévères que les nôtres au Canada. Ils ont aussi des lois moins sévères pour les travailleurs, et puis la façon qu'ils extraient leur pétrole n'est pas d'une façon très verte. Donc, qu'est-ce qu'on fait? On importe. Ça nous fait du bien de penser que ça vient. Nous, on n'a pas de pipeline. Mais le gaz, il vient d'un endroit. Donc, qu'est-ce qu'on veut faire? On veut contrôler nos propres ressources. Puis on veut être indépendant par 2030. Donc, ça, c'est notre objectif. Ça, c'est notre objectif. Donc, il faut travailler dans cette direction-là pour un jour être mieux. Deuxième chose, la baie
Merci.
Crédiac,
On va donner la parole à M. McLaren, qui n'a pas eu la chance de parler encore.
J'ai pas fini.
Il reste 40 secondes.
Le Canada peut être un leader pour attaquer la crise climatique. On a en fait 1,6% des émissions ici dans le monde. Et si on tout pense que mais la Chine ne fait pas, pourquoi est-ce qu'on va faire? On juste ajoute à le problème. On ne devrait pas penser par ça. Aussi, quelque chose qu'on n'a pas parlé encore est des autochtones ici en Canada. Il y a des réserves ici en Canada qui ne peuvent même pas boire l'eau. On va aider ça et prendre les bans sur l'eau à 2021 et aussi donner de l'argent à Grassy Narrows pour nettoyer l'eau de mercure et donner des services aux personnes qui sont affectées par le mercure.
Monsieur Driver avait coupé Mme Godin-Charest. Mme Godin-Charest, 10 secondes, rapidement.
Moi, je veux savoir qu'est-ce que c'est que vous en faites. C'est beau, la rivière Petit-Kodiak, mais qu'est-ce que vous en faites de la baie de Chédiac qui est polluée, ça fait 5 ans. Donc, nous, qu'est-ce qu'on veut faire comme gouvernement conservateur? Nous voulons réglementer nos cours d'eau. Ça suffit le dumping de nos eaux usées dans nos belles rivières et dans nos océans. Ça fait partie de notre plan, ça. Merci.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments, of course. So that ends the portion of the questions. Actually, we are now down to the closing remarks. Like I said at the beginning of the debate, we're going to start with the last one from the introductory remarks. So we have 1 minute now for Mr. Luke McLaren from the NDP.
Excuse me. So tonight we heard a lot of other parties saying what the other ones won't do, and I'm sure you're very tired of that. So I'm going to tell you what we will do, and that is give services to Canadians that have been waiting for years and years to get these services. It's been 22 years we've been talking about pharmacare, and I'm now old enough where I'm standing up here talking how we still don't have it. Universal childcare to allow people to not have to make that decision between having a family and having a career. These are services that we can easily introduce here in Canada. They are affordable. We can do it, and we've continued to fail to do so, and that is something we are going to do. We are going to move forward and put these services in place so that Canadian people don't have to live paycheck to paycheck for the rest of their lives, because it's been happening far too long. The price of everything continues to rise and our wages stay the same. We plan on increasing minimum wage to $15 an hour to allow these people to get a head start in their careers and to also give students the opportunity to save up for university. We'll also eliminate the interest that is currently happening on student loans, because we don't feel as though our government should be making money off of our students that simply just want to further themselves and be able to get a career with a university degree. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McLaren. Ms. Kelly, your final words.
Yeah, thank you so much. That went by so quickly. There's a lot to talk about. But I would actually agree with what Luke has to say, is that instead of voting for what you don't want to see, and we do see a lot of disagreement, this is the number one thing I hear at the door, is that they are tired of the two big powers. So we need to have someone to hold the balance of power with whoever forms government. It's going to be a minority government. We need to hold them accountable for the promises that they have mentioned. A Green Party member can have a voice for Moncton-Riverview-Dieppe in Ottawa for you to bring up these projects that we've talked about today. Secondly, as I said, we need to move to renewable energies as soon as possible. And third, we need to change our healthcare system. We didn't get to talk about this, but the Conservatives broke it in 2011 and it has not been fixed, and it hurts New Brunswick. The federal provincial childcare transfers are essential to have everyday health care in this province. We lose $44 million every year based on that, and we need to change that. I will speak up for that.
Thank you, Ms. Kelly. Mr. Driver, your final minute.
This is the reason I'm running is I have 7 children, but the closest to my heart are my 11 grandchildren. This is what brought me into politics, and this is what has led me to the People's Party of Canada. I'd like to suggest that we're heading towards a minority government, and I would like to suggest also to the people of Moncton-Riverview-Dieppe that a People's Party of Canada MP would have a strong say in Parliament. And I guarantee you that I will not waver on my convictions. I will stay with the platform. We will compromise only if it's within our platform, and we will work with all parties to achieve our goals. I have something I'd like to quote from one of our other candidates. I'm doing it because Andrew Scheer promises to keep most of Trudeau's policies intact, from immigration to carbon pricing. They play a game of rhetoric, vying for victory in a vain horse race where the racetrack is set and the results and the outcome are the same. And so I ask you, where is the representation for the people who want an actual choice? And the answer we're trying to build is the PPC. In 1 year, we have come a long way. We have 320 candidates all across the country. We come from every ethnic background and every race and color.
Thank you, Mr. Driver.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Godin-Charest.
On October 21st, you have an important decision to make. Justin Trudeau broke promise after promise. He has two sets of rules, one for him and one for you. Let's be clear, the election is a referendum on Justin Trudeau. With the multiple gaffes, ethics breach, reckless spending, and international embarrassment, you have to ask yourself, are you better than you were 4 years ago? Can you afford another 4 years under Justin Trudeau? I don't think so. I'm very passionate about my community. I will work hard and be a strong voice in Ottawa. That's why on October 21st, I'm asking for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Godin-Charest. Ms. Petitpas-Taylor, your minute.
Cher ami, durant ma carrière, j'ai servi ma communauté pour plus de 30 ans. Je ne suis pas universitaire, je ne suis pas avocate, je suis travailleuse sociale de formation, une femme du peuple. D'avoir été élue comme votre membre du Parlement fédéral à Ottawa a été l'honneur et privilège de ma vie. Maintenant, c'est votre choix. Now is your choice. You get to choose between a government investing in Atlantic Canada or one that will make $53 billion in cuts. Between ensuring pharmacare and a family doctor for every Canadian, or even bothering to put the words prescription drugs or doctor in the Conservative platform. Between taking care of you from the Canada Child Benefit to expanding the CPP plan or cutting taxes for millionaires. Between tackling climate change and giving you the proceeds or making pollution free again and leaving a diminished planet for your children. Between Liberals moving Canada forward or Conservatives going back to Harper's version of a smaller, less compassionate country. Moi, je choisis d'avancer. Je choisis d'avancer pour Moncton-Riverview et Dieppe. Le 21 octobre, demande votre appui.
Well, thank you all for thank you.
Another stacked audience.
Yeah. Well, thank you all for coming tonight and participate in this debate. The Chamber of Commerce for Greater Moncton wants to thank the Greater Moncton Realtors and Rogers TV for presenting the debate with us tonight. Thank you to our panelists, Inda Intia, Anthony Hazard, and David Gauvin from the Times and Transcript, Kodiak FM, and Auto. And thank you to all candidates. I think we can applaud now. Thank you all for running in the election. Just that step is something. It's an experience. So thank you all. Good luck, of course, for your results in the next election, October 21st. Our intention at the Chamber was to inform our members and also the voters of Greater Moncton. I think we almost did that tonight. And hopefully we were able to help you make or an informed decision for your vote on October 21st. Of course, there's one step you need to do, of course, October 21st, it's to go vote. So please do so. And thank you for being here tonight and participate. And thank you for your silence during the night. It was very, very helpful. So good night and bonsoir. Thank you for coming tonight.